Thanks for taking the time to have a chat with us today so we can gather some facts on finance.
No problem.
Thank you. With all the media attention around lending at the moment in the banking sector, hopefully today we can shed some light on lending going forward.
So I just wanted to start with some basic questions. So Taj, what is a broker and what are the benefits of using a broker?
Yeah, so a broker basically is somebody that can serve the market for a customer. Brokers, for lending specifically, is somebody that can look at different banks, provide different banking arrangements, different lending options, different policies, not just interest rates, and just finding a fit that's more suitable for the customer going forward. Broker can also interject after some time to come back and review the actual loan package that they've set up and make sure it's still competitive in the market. Yeah,
so we certainly know from recent experience the flexibility that you guys have provided has been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. So similar to some of the things we've seen where customers have been declined, at their bank, and then think that things are all over, where they can come to us and we can go, well, no, your circumstances suitable for this bank.
Yeah, we see it all the time where your client will just go to their default bank, but it may not always be the best solution for them.
Yeah.
So coming to a broker, we can pinpoint that straight away and send them in the right direction from the start.
Okay. Yeah. Then my question is for you. Pre-approval, what's the basic paperwork that would be required to do that?
So again, what the guys were saying about a broker, we can tailor everyone's requirements to the bank we're going to approach. So usually we put them in two categories. It's either pay-as-you-go employee or it's self-employed.
Yeah.
Self-employed, we usually follow up with 2 pay slips, some statements on your savings to verify what you've got going in, some driver's license to make sure you're a real person.
Yes.
What we're seeing is some changes that we are seeing is banks are asking for more statements around your living expenses. So that's a new thing that when we're asked, we hear the type banks starting up, that's what banks are asking for a little bit more.
Okay.
So we want to provide evidence in any liabilities as well. So statements around that as well really helps.
So it's just a little bit more paperwork as opposed to,
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're still happy to lend.
Yeah.
They just want to see a little bit more.
Okay. Fair enough.
By going to your broker, they're very important. They'll pinpoint exactly what you need to get. So hopefully they don't have to get too much extra. Keep it to a minimum.
So you'd say, I guess you specifically tailor to that individual client's needs.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And every bank's going to have a slightly different request of documents. So one bank will ask for a specific statement on a liability, where the other one might need 2 or 3 months. And we try and make it as simple as possible.
Yeah, fair enough.
So on a whole, Taj, would you say your industry is busy at the moment?
I'd say, really busy. There's still people looking to refinance. There's a lot of first home buyers out in the market. It's a good opportunity for first home buyers to get in the market. Prices, around here, in our opinion, our buyers can afford to purchase here because it's not the world's most expensive property. So we find that first home buyer here in this market, from what I'm finding, is it's a suitable market for them to buy in. Yeah, so amongst investors and everyone else that's in the market looking around. So, but yeah, I'd say it's a very busy time. Absolutely. On a number of fronts.
Yeah. That's a bit of confidence going forward, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's really strong months for us in terms of inquiry and upfront information that we get from clients. Even Dan, he's starting to have a bit of a surge right now as well. So from everything we've seen, we're pretty confident.
Okay, that's fantastic. That's really good. Dan, we speak to a lot of buyers. We see buyers all the time. That's our job. But the word on the street with buyers being, ground level, a lot of them, basically the comment that comes to mind is banks aren't lending. Like, I am hearing this, Cheryl's hearing this all the time. So whether or not you're talking to someone on the street or in an open home, this seems to be a reoccurring comment.
Yeah.
So tell me, are banks lending?
Oh, definitely. We hear it all the time as well. You know, one of the first things a client will do when they ring you is say, "Oh, listen, are banks lending? Can I get a loan?" You know, of course you can. You know, there's like we said, you know, we've been busy. We haven't seen like a slowdown. There is a bit of a misconception on the market that banks are tightening up and they're not lending, but they definitely are. You know, there's really good policies out there. Some banks have different appetites. Where I think this might be a bit of a media blowout, where a bank may have a specific appetite on something, or they want to exit that industry, so they start to tighten up on one specific segment. But as a whole, we're still seeing a lot of lending, a lot of growth. You know, it's definitely lending for sure.
And circumstantially, as you said, you know, earlier with that situation that we had, you know, it can only be one bank. And judging the experience on one bank, sometimes that's dangerous because such strong clients getting declined from one bank doesn't mean that they're going to get declined from 5 or 6 others.
Exactly.
You know, so.
And then that spreads because then they'll go at the barbecue that they're on the weekend. They'll say, "Oh, you know, the banks aren't lending." You know, but that's just that one bank, and they might not have qualified for them. But that doesn't mean that they won't qualify with another lender.
Sure.
We've all seen it. We all get customers that have been declined by their bank. You know, and then we find, well, why is it being declined? It's because it's policy. You know, policy doesn't meet requirements.
And it's disheartening. You know, like a client who does get declined, you know, they get and especially if they're a first home buyer, we see this a bit too, where they get declined, they get disheartened, and they go and buy themselves a brand new car.
Yes.
And then in 6 months' time, they go, "Oh, I want to buy a house." But then they've got a $60,000 car loan, which then throws them right out. Whereas what they probably should have done was come to see, you know, a broker or us first and say, "Hey, we're having a little bit of trouble. What do you think?" And they might be a slam dunk with another bank, and can quickly get it turned around.
It's just having that confidence of knowing that there's that out there in the market that they can go and see somebody else.
Absolutely.
There's that option.
The alternative, as opposed to going to your standard bank, where you know that's all we ever used to do, isn't it? But now it's changing so dramatically, and people want options.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want flexibility. We want options, and you know, at the end of the day, we want good interest rates and terms. And sometimes, you know, no matter how long you've been with a bank, you can't always get that. Where you guys seem to be able to do that for majority.
And how much harder is it to get a loan at the moment than say 12 months ago?
Yeah, it's not really harder. It's just a little bit more information that we need to provide. You know, they're just a little bit more thorough. But as far as the clients that were getting loans 12 months ago are still getting loans today. You know, so I think the ones that maybe were getting them 12 months ago that probably should not. You know, they're probably not getting them.
Okay.
But overall, as a we're still definitely getting a good percentage through, and just more information. So a little bit. There might be a couple of extra statements here or there. We sort of touched on it earlier about the living expenses. You know,
to do with personal information.
Yeah, definitely, and just really breaking down on how people are spending their money and getting a lot more granular on that. And I think that that's an extra hurdle that we're seeing. But once we go through that, and that's just responsible lending anyway. You know, we look at that and have a look to make sure they can afford it and it's in the best interest for the client. And if it is, then and they can still service the loan. They hit all the trigger points, and they'll still get the loan.
I think that's what it really comes down to. At the end of the day, they're just making sure that all the clients can afford the housing, the loans that we're going to give them out. So. Used to be taking their word for it with their living expenses and the liabilities. Now they just want to double check it.
A little bit of evidence.
A little bit of evidence.
And proving it's not too hard either, because I mean, if a customer's consistently putting money away each week in an account, you can clearly see it. You know, they paid rent and then they're putting money away. It sets them up for the loan because they've been able to show that they can pay the rent. And they're still saving. It's usually just as much, or if not more, than the repayment.
Yes.
So if they can evidence that, happy days.
So that can be a really quick tool. You know, like we do it all the time. For rough numbers, say clients got $1,000 a week, they're saving $500 a week. You know, they say their living expenses are this, and you know, it's very quick and easy to have a look at a savings history and go, well, you're spot on. And then that's all the bank needs is some commentary around that. So it can be really simple. So.
Yeah. And if they've got a lack of savings at some point, we ask the questions. You know, what happened to your money? Did you buy a car? Did you spend the money on a holiday? Did you have to help someone
There's probably
out?
a reasonable.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah.
You know, and if you have that commentary there, it just helps with the notes of credit.
Well, that's pretty much all we wanted to talk to you about today, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully it'll just create a bit more confidence and clarity in the market. But anyone that listens to this interview, if they want any more help with finance, I'm sure you guys are happy to help them.
Yeah, definitely.
Coffs Coast Finance. And
No, not really.
well, I'm hoping that if anyone you come into contact with, you can send them our way. Really appreciate your help, guys, and all the information today. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
That's all right. Thanks. We've got to get back to work now.
Thanks,
Dan.
See ya. Thank you, Jody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
All right. Since Dan didn't come up with a good way of